Okay, so before anyone said anything, doxing is not a good thing to do. Do not dox people. If it's not on the internet, then don't put it on the internet is basically what I'm saying. Private information is an important thing, and I know people think that I still dox Jellybean, but I'm here to say I did not. And here's a story about actually funny enough how I got doxed, but not by just anyone, by a literal ooh girl. Yeah, I know, ultimately cringe. But before we do get into the story though, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Seriously, it means a lot when you guys do. And on top of that, did I mention that I am currently live on Twitch streaming to you guys right now and telling more of these crazy stories, so make sure you guys do go check that out. Also, on top of that, make sure you guys do follow me on Instagram. I know a lot of you guys don't know this, but I do have an Instagram account. Make sure you guys do follow me at BabaStreams. I will be reading your guys' comments, and as well as send me a message of your guys' craziest story. Now, other than that, let's get straight into this insane story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another crazy story. So this story takes place, funny enough, back when I was in grade 9. So this was my grade 9 year. I was a freshman in high school, and I was just a basic dude. And I remember one thing me and my friends always did was going to Xbox parties and troll around and basically play Black Ops 2 and yell at kids. That was most of the main thing we did. And before anyone says anything, yes, I was a very toxic Call of Duty player. Like, by toxic, I mean toxic. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if people found old clips of me freaking out. Yes, fair warning, I was toxic. Going on though, I remember me being a toxic kid, I would always go into like random lobbies and stuff and just basically yell at people and yell at girls and yell at everyone and basically be that weird angry kid all the time. There's one thing you guys gotta understand: the internet is not what it was back then till now. Like, if you guys really think about it, back then, if you know, were to tell people to do things and scream at them and doing a bunch of toxic stuff, yeah, you'd just be laughing with them. Like, it would just be a joke. But nowadays, it's like serious. I don't know. I grew up in a totally different age. Let's just say it was a different era of the internet, okay? It was before everyone turned soft. So going on, basically what ended up happening was one day, me and the boys were all trolling on Call of Duty, screaming at some kids in a team deathmatch. Yes, in a literal team deathmatch. And then I remember what ended up happening was there was one girl that was in that game, and she was basically yelling back at me, and me and her, we ended up yelling back and forth at each other like crazy. She told me things like, OMG, like, you're literally like the worst gamer ever. Like, literally, like, unplug your console and like go cry to your mom, you little. And yeah, she would swear a lot at me. I'm not gonna swear in this video because I don't like swearing, but you guys know what I mean. Basically, she was being super toxic and I didn't know what to do. But one of the boys ended up saying, yo bro, just invite her to an Xbox party, let's all yell at her at the same time. So that's what we did. We ended up inviting her to our Xbox party, and when she joined, the first thing she ended up saying was ooh 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 ooh. I don't know, I can't say ooh good, okay? Don't bug me. Like, my Fortnite girlfriend could probably do it better than I can. But going on though, she said ooh ooh, and then she started yelling at us. At that point, me and the boys were all laughing. We were all dying our hearts out. To think that she actually said ooh ooh made me cringe and laugh. And as we were laughing, I remember this girl was like, oh my goodness, like, who do you guys think you are? Like, ooh, like, you guys gotta like stop being annoying. Little did we know she ended up having Tourette's, but that's later on in the story. So basically, we kept making fun of her and she kept making fun of us, and one thing led to another. Her boyfriend ended up joining the Xbox party. Yes, her literal boyfriend. And her boyfriend sounded like some 40-year-old dude. Like this girl sounded like she was 12, but this dude sounded like he was 45 to like 50, like old enough to be her damn dad. And he's like, oh, you guys better stop making fun of my girl, bro. Like, who do you guys think you are? Like, 1v1 me in Nuketown 2022. Yeah, he literally asked me to 1v1 him. Yeah, I don't know what he was getting at there, but basically me and him, we ended up going into a 1v1 lobby and 1v1ing each other. She was basically cheering him on the whole time, saying, ooh, like, you'll win for me, my sugar plum. Ooh. Yeah, okay, listen, I can't make impressions, okay? Don't laugh at me, guys. But still, she was saying all that, and it was ultimately just cringe. I remember I told her to literally go back to the kitchen and cook food. Reminder, don't say this to this day. This is not a good thing to say, and do not, you know, harass people like that, because obviously, like I said earlier, this was a different time and age of the internet, and one thing led to another. She ended up saying a bunch of numbers. She was counting down from 10. She was being all creepy and stuff. And at that point, her boyfriend was all like, oh, she really did it to her now. You're screwed, buddy. I remember I was looking around and I'm like, what? Why is she saying these numbers? And then she literally said my address. She literally said the exact address I live in. I don't know how she ended up doing it. She literally ended up doxing me. And she said it in front of my Xbox party, which is all the guys that are IRL. So they all automatically know where I live. But she literally said my address like perfectly. I ended up telling her, how do you know that? What in the world? That's not my address. Wait, how do you know that though? Where'd you even get that from? And she's all like, oh, like, I know a lot more than you think. Ooh. And I was like, okay, this is kind of getting scary. And then she ended up saying my full name, saying, oh, so your name's Arash Baba Moini, aren't you? Okay, this is where things got really scary, because now this girl has my full name and my address. And then she started like, you know, sending me pictures of my family, and she started like messaging like my family members' names, to the point where she literally doxed me. She hacked me. She literally found a way to literally hack me and all this crazy stuff. I was freaking out. I was like, okay, that's it. I'm dead. I'm screwed. I don't know what to do. I was panicking. And then I remember my friend was like, bro, just turn off your console. Just turn it off right now. Just be safe. So I remember I ended up flicking my console off, and I turned it off and unplugged it fully. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. I remember I ended up calling one of my friends on my phone. I'm like, yo, bro, like, come over. Like, let's figure this out. So he ended up coming over, and he's like, dude, like, who is this girl anyway? And I said, I don't know. So what we did was we went on the internet and we searched up her gamer tag here and there to figure out who she was. And we found out that it ended up being some random weirdo that lived in Alabama. Like, God knows that she was doing the Devil's Tango with probably her cousin. And her cousin was probably the big scary boyfriend guy that I was talking to earlier. Anyways, we figured that out. And I remember I ended up plugging my Xbox and, you know, basically going back on there. And I'm like, yo, so like, how's Alabama? She ends up going, ooh, like, what? Like, why are you talking about Alabama? Like, who do you think you are? And I'm like, oh, I know where you live. I'm not dumb. And after that, she's like, ooh, what in the world? And her boyfriend's like, oh, okay, I know what you did there. You think you're smart, huh? You think you're smart? What's your actual name then? Yeah, I didn't know her actual name, so I made up some random name called Uwu Fanatic or something. I don't know. I made fun of her Uwu voice, okay? And long story short, after 2 minutes of me and her yelling at each other, she ended up literally following me on Instagram. At that point, I was freaking out. I'm like, what? She followed me on Instagram, and when I followed her back, all I saw was photos of her on Instagram being, well, let's just say somewhat attractive. I know that's weird to say. I know it's weird to say, but she was actually somewhat attractive. And then from there, she shot me a message saying, hey, do you want to like maybe like take this to another platform? Whatever that means. And then she sends me some random link. Now, warning, if anyone sends you a link to anything, don't click on it unless you actually know what the link is for. But she sent me a link. I clicked on it. And after 3 minutes of me being on the site that she sent me on, and I don't even remember the site. It was some dumb site, but she sent me some site to go on. And 3 minutes later, my internet went out. My internet went out, and literally like the internet would not turn back on. I had to go almost 3 days without internet to get the service guy to come back and fix my internet. Literally, this girl fried my wire. And yeah, that's basically how an Uwu chick doxed me. It was kind of scary and honestly freaks me out, but you know, push goes to shove, you know, just be safe on the internet. Don't do something dumb and don't get hacked, and be careful of who you talk to. And also, don't harass anybody. The internet's not a place to harass people. Bullying is not good. And yeah, that's basically it for today's story. So make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. And on top of that, like I always say, follow for more embarrassing stories and follow me on Instagram, because if you don't, then I will literally go do the Devil's Tango with your mother. All right, peace out, guys.
My name is Baba. I'm still on top of the world. Devil's Tango with your mother. Of course, let's go. Should I make it a story? Let's click record. Got that TikTok with 2 mil hit different with some more. She said she love me, she kept. Should I exit for sure? I got 100K for my life's work, so mama said bravo. All these people on my street love y'all till the day I go. I got 100K.